$200.
Oh,
That's
wonderful.
amazing.
Yes. So,
That's wonderful.
I can send it on to Sally.
Yeah, she needs to acknowledge it, for the lady.
Yeah.
We
Well,
want to make sure when people donate that we're really on top of it to not only give them a tax receipt, but to write them a thank you note. Would you write that thank you note? And I'll
well,
write one
I
for Karen.
think you're on email. I don't know if I'm the one to write it or if, I don't know who's writing it. I'll be happy to write it if it isn't something someone else is supposed to do.
Did
Well,
someone
If you do
write?
that one, if you do that one, I'll do the one for Karen.
Okay.
Hello.
Hi there. Hi, Pat.
Hi, Anita Hampshire is supposed to write the thank you notes.
Oh, is she?
Sal-
Okay, I didn't know that.
Sally will usually send her a list of the people who need it.
Okay, right.
Okay, fellow Israelites over there in the back, let's move in.
Where's the gallery thing here? How do you get the gallery here? I can't remember. How you- Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Now we see some people.
Yeah. Today I was near the Wickmans, almost stopped by to visit.
No, Roseanne was, what time of day?
Around 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay. We were both home. Earlier today, Roseanne was working at the food pantry.
I was rushed, I had to come home to get to the temple. But I thought of you.
Okay. Well, there seemed to be some sort of disturbance in the force about then, so.
Has Yitzhak checked the website?
I don't know. Ask him.
Yitzhak, have you checked the website?
Rodolfo, pregunta si usted ha chequeado.
Rodolfo.
Hello, Gary
Well,
Vinci.
Have you checked the website?
No?
Yeah, go look at it.
Okay.
Okay, fellow Israelites, first of all, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Always start our services asking people, has anybody to share, anything to share, anything good, any difference we made in somebody's life this week? Anybody? I'll share something with you because I began the day with that. Apparently, Israel Rocha was the president of the synagogue. Mexico. I need the people online to mute themselves, please. Thank you. So, Israel Rocha, who is the president of Comunidad Mexico, tells me he lives in a fascinating town called Cuernavaca, which is kind of, depending where you're in Mexico City, an hour, 2 hours away. And it's a very historic town, very interesting. And kind of a little, maybe an hour away from there, there is another place that's really gorgeous, has all kinds of archaeological sites. It has a temple up in the mountains to the god of liquor, the Mexican version of Baco, god of mezcal. And apparently lots of Americans live there. So this American guy, actually turns out he's Canadian, Canadian guy, his name was Myron Ehrenberg or something like that, right? I mean, do you know any Myron who's not Jewish?
No, I do not.
No, it's a New York old man Jewish name. Apparently, the guy died last night. These poor people who are Reconstructionist Jews back in Montreal, because the man was a teacher at McGill, got to deal with the Orthodox in Mexico, talk about being scumbags, and they began giving these people a hard time. They needed a proof that his mother was Jewish. Otherwise, they couldn't allow him to be buried in their cemetery. You'd assume that a guy with the name of Myron Ehrenberg, with the poem that he had, because I checked him online, and who says, I want to be buried in the Jewish cemetery, is Jewish. But they decide to give these people endless crap, exactly hours after the man died. So she's desperate, she doesn't know what to do. She figures out there is a Reformed synagogue, which is Brit Braja. She contacts him. This is the worst weekend ever for Brit Braja in Mexico. Israel Rocha has COVID, his son has COVID. They have 3 other people who live in Cuernavaca. One is a couple, two guys. One of them was a doctor, has COVID. The other one is taking care of him. So there's one guy left. And then the people in Mexico City, they are moving from one house to the other house and moving the synagogue tomorrow. So it's this weekend. So it's the worst weekend possible. But the woman wants help. I have no idea. So I tell Israel, have her call me. She had no idea. I tried to run. Not that I'm that smart. I just understand what goes on, what needs to happen. And at least to explain to her clearly what are her choices. Bring the guy in, or bring the guy, fly the guy to Canada, or I said, I don't have anybody capable of doing a service for you, but if you need to, I can do it through Zoom. And they said, oh, if you can do it through Zoom, maybe my rabbi can do it through Zoom. So absolutely. And I just say, just make sure you have a good hotspot. That's not trying to give them the logical stuff they may not think about. And then, oh, but you still need help. So I end up getting the one guy who lives in Cuernavaca, who's not sick, to go there because in a regular Jewish community, the people of the funeral home, even if they're not Jews, they'll know what needs to happen. To have a Kriya ribbon, to control earth. So I say, you go there. So I told them I'm going to get somebody there to help them to do whatever needs to be done to make sure, the funeral home meets their needs. I felt good to be able to. That took most of my morning. Then, so I thought that was, glad to be able to help. Anybody else has anything to share?
We're doing baby shopping this weekend because we're about to have a new American born.
When, how?
We don't know the exact date or what the gender is, so we'll be buying gender neutral clothing, which probably doesn't matter to them anyhow. I don't know what their favorite colors are, if they do the pink and blue thing or what. So I'm planning on buying a lot of blue.
Okay. If you need help, let me know. Well, the one who's good at shopping is Denise in the family. Anyway, anybody else? No? Good. Okay, no. Okay, so we're going to start our service with Lechado D on page 2. Oh, by the way, Theo has a migraine, so he cannot be with us tonight. We're very sorry about that. But, okay, so we'll start on page 2 with Lechado D. Lechado D likrata Pene Shabat Lechado D likrata Pene Shabat Shavor vezachor bedivrei Ishmiyahu Evameyucha Adonai Echad Shemo Echad Veshemu betiferet melech tehiva Lechado Di lekrata Pene Shabat Ekavela Lechado Di likrata Pene Shabat Ekavela Ikrat Shabat lechu v'necha Ki mekol averacha Merosh mikem nesucha Sof ma'aseh b'machshava necha Lecha Dodi Lecha Dodi likrata Pene Shabat Ekavela Lechado Di likrata Pene Shabat Ekavela Itoreri Ki vaorechu mi ori כבוד אדוני אמרתימה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת לך אלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת לך אלה. אוי בשלום עטרת במה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, טוב אמוני עם סגולה, לא יקלה, לא יקלה. לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת לך אלה, לך דודי לקראת קלה, פני שבת לך אלה. Now go to page 7 for the kindling of Sabbath lights. I really want to invite Denise Cukierkorn, hasn't done this in a while. She keeps her candle lighting skills fresh.
I will project.
There's one right there.
Yeah,
too.
I will project. Thank you. Come, let us welcome Shabbat. May its radiance warm our heart as we kindle these tapers.
Light is the symbol of God's presence in our lives. Eternal one is our light and our salvation.
Light is the symbol of the holiness within each of us. The human spirit is the light of God.
Light is the symbol of the Torah's teachings. The commandment is a lamp and the Torah is a light.
Light is the symbol of Israel's mission, as it is written, I have made you a covenant people to serve as a light to the nations.
Therefore, in the spirit of our ancient tradition, that follows and unites Israel and all lands and all ages, we kindle the lights of Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Shabbat. We praise you, our eternal God, creator of the universe, who follows our lives through laws and ethical teachings. We are mindful of these timeline values as we kindle the lights of Shabbat. May God bless us with Shabbat joy. May God bless us with Shabbat wholeness. May God bless us with Shabbat peace. Amen.
Being the fourth Shabbat of the month, we turn to page 76, the fourth service. Gathered together, now the shadows of evening fall, we open our hearts to the sweet and comforting influences of our worship. We're thankful for countless blessings, for the ceaseless flow of God's goodness to us. Every day we receive the fullness of this bounty. When we are tried by sorrows or times of anguish, it is not that we have been forsaken. The Eternal One always is with us, guiding us along the path of life. We will be grateful for having been granted the strength to endure our trials, and when our ordeal has passed, we will draw comfort from the hope and faith that better days may lie ahead.
We pray for all people who at this hour of sickness and want for the distress of body and spirit. We name in our hearts those who are near to us and in whose name we feel pain. Let them know your help, feel your presence.
Chatzi Kaddish on page 77. Ikada ve'ikada shemerava ve'amad ivrach yute ve'amrich mavute ve'chayecho v'yomecho uvechaye kol beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman kayin ve'imru amen. Shera Bevora, Leolam Lomeamaya, Idvara, Veishtava, Vivar, Vekromam, Veisese, Veitala, Veitale, Veitala, שמינן ושברתו, לאן כל מלאכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונבלתה, דמירה ועלמה, ואמרו אמן. Please rise for the Baruch worship on page 78. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Le'olam Amen. Page 79. Lord God, the source from which life and all its blessings flow. Wherever we turn our eyes, we behold signs of your goodness and grace. The fullness of your power is disclosed to us in your guidance of our people, in your constant shaping of human destiny, and in the wondrous works of creation. Your guiding spirit is present in all your works. The harmony and grandeur of nature speaks to us of you, of your infinite might and majesty. Page 80.
Infinite is your power, and so is your love. It may be seen through the history of our people Israel. Through laws and ethical precepts, through statutes and ordinances, you have led us in the ways of righteousness and brought us to the light of truth. Therefore, in our lying down and our rising up, we'll meditate on the Torah's teachings, finding within it the inspiration and guidance for our daily lives. May your love never depart from our hearts. Praise you, God, you have revealed your love through our people Israel.
Together on page 51, we affirm Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, the eternal Lord God, eternal God is one. Baruch Shem Kevod V'Chol Le'olam Amen. Let us praise God who rules in glory forever and ever. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod V'Chol Le'olam Amen. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשופרך ובקומך וקשרת ועוד ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבת על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Try your hand. I do that so I don't have to do the other one. Anybody wants to try? Knock yourself out.
Shall love the eternal God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your might. And all these words which I command you on this day shall be upon your heart, shall be upon your heart. You shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall speak of them when you sit in your house, when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand. They shall be a symbol before your eyes, and you shall write them on on your gates, and on your gates, that you may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your God, unto your God.
Very spiritual. If I was Theo, I'll be shaking his boots. Page 84, pray responsibly. Trust in the eternal one with all your heart and do not rely only on your own limited understanding.
Remember God's commandments and do them, that you should not follow only your own heart and your own eyes.
Time and again, God has redeemed us from the hand of oppressors and revived our spirits when our own strength failed us.
God's works and wonders surpass our understanding. God's gifts and blessings are without number.
We rejoice in God's guiding power. We praise and give thanks to the eternal one. That's the trumpet. The people of Israel shall preserve the Sabbath, observing the Sabbath in every generation as a perpetual covenant.
It is a sign between God and the people of Israel forever.
Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Latzod et HaShabbat ledorei Torah. B'nei Yisrael Elohim le'olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Latzod et HaShabbat ledorei Torah. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et Shamayim ve'et ha'aretz veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Latzod et HaShabbat ledorei Torah. U'bayom hashvi v'sharet nafash Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat Latzod et HaShabbat ledorei Torah. Those who preserve Shabbat and call it a delight will rejoice. The people that hallow Shabbat delight in your goodness, for being pleased with the seventh day, he made it the most precious of days, a day of gratitude for the work of creation. Yismechu v'malechu shomrei 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 Shabbat v'korei Shabbat. Yismechu v'malechu shomrei 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 Shabbat. Korei Shabbat. Mekadeshem Shevi Shabbat. Kulam Yisrael Ve'itanutu V'Shabbat. Ve'Hashemim Ratzitavo Ve'Kidash Shabbat. Ke'Dayim Otoka Ve'Hasham Seher Le'Maseh Ve'Nishim Shabbat
Zecher למעשה בראשית שבת, ישמחו במלאכתך, שומרי 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 שבת, עונג שבת, ישמחו במלאכתך, שומרי 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 שבת, עונג שבת.
Continue on page 86.
Grant, O God, that we may lie down in peace and rise up again to life. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Guide us with wise counsel. Be as a shield about us, fortifying us against hatred and war, against pestilence and sorrow. Curb within us the inclination to do evil. Comfort us within the embrace of your love. Guide our going out and coming into life and peace this time forth and forever. We praise you, God, for you shelter us well.
Now we rise on page 87 for the Amida.
Eternal God, open my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Baruch atah Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel. Ha'el Hagadol Hagimor V'Hanorah, Eloheinu, Gomer Chasadim Golim, Ve'konei Rachel, Ve'zocher Azriyahu V'Limaor, U'mevei Geula Le'bnei Bneihem, Le'van Shemo V'Yamaron, Melech Ozer Moshiach U'Magin. Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Ezrat Salam.
We praise you, God of our mothers and fathers, God of Abraham, God of Sarah, God of all generations. You bestow loving kindness on all your people. You remember the devotion of those who came before us. As you guided our ancestors with love, you offer hope to us, their descendants. You are creator and helper, our guide and protector. We praise you, eternal God, shield of Abraham and help of Sarah. 88.
Infinite is your power, O God. Great is your gift of life. And loving kindness to sustain the world. With the endless flow of your blessings, you preserve all creation. You uphold the falling and heal the sick. Free the captive and keep faith with your people as death and life. Who is like you, author of life and death? We praise you, God, the source of eternal life.
On the bottom of page 89. As we become more fully aware of God's presence, we discover our life's truth in the knowledge that we can worship God in holiness only as we serve each other in love. How much we owe to the labors of others. Day by day, they endure pain and peril for our sake. Numberless gifts and blessings have been laid in our cradles as our birthright. May we then be just and great-hearted in our dealings with one another, sharing the fruits of our common labors, acknowledging that we are but stewards of whatever we possess. Help us to be among those who give generously of themselves, that others may not hunger, who dare to be bearers of light in the dark loneliness of stricken lives, who struggle and even bleed for the triumph of justice for all people. shall be partners in the repair of our world, for that has been our vision and goal throughout the ages.
Our God and God of all ages, grant our worship on this Shabbat may be acceptable to you. Sanctify us through your commandments, that the serenity of Shabbat may enter our lives. Teach us to be satisfied with the gifts of your goodness, and gratefully to rejoice in all that you bestow. Purify our hearts that we may serve you in truth. Inspire us to preserve Shabbat as Israel's heritage from generation to generation. May it bring rest and joy, peace and comfort to the dwellings of our people, and that through it you may be revered throughout the world. We praise our God who sanctifies Shabbat.
You may be seated. Continue, page 92. We gratefully acknowledge that in the eternal God as our Creator, preserver, the rock of our life, and the shield of our health. We thank God and sing praises for the gift of life itself, for our souls that are heaven and unspeaking, for the signs of our Creator's presence that we encounter every day, and for God's wondrous gifts at all times, morning and night. Truly our blessings are without end, and God's loving kindness never ceases. Therefore, do we forever put our trust in the eternal. Page 93. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, eternal source of peace, and enable our people Israel to be its messenger to all the world. Bless our country, it may ever be a pursuer of peace and its advocate in the Council of Nations. May contentment reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes, strengthen the bonds of friendship and harmony among the inhabitants of all lands, plant virtue in every soul, and may our love for you hallow every home and every heart. We praise you, God, giver of peace. Amen. Shalom. As it is our common practice in this temple, prior to the silent prayer, we will turn in our prayer books to page 10, the prayer of those in need of healing. Page 10. Prayer invites God's presence to lift our spirits. It allows the blessing gift of hope to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, and rebuild a wicked will. Shabbat, we pray still for everyone around the world that are not afflicted by COVID. Also for the following members, relatives, and friends of members of our congregation who share the anxiety of their illness. Nancy Stern, Gary Keshner, Marvin Aaron, Mike Herman, Wayne Owen, Martha Katz, Louise Diana Bergson, Ray Barker, Dr. May, Lily Montgomery, Dr. Jeffrey Lazar, and then on behalf of Pat, my best client for Mike Becker, Andy Becker, Bailey Swales, Rose Andu, Colin Charles, and Anna Jackson, and for George Forbes asked us to pray for Lou, always, Jennifer Bolden, Connie Thomas, Sarah Stones, and Fred.
Joyce Brown, Margarita Scheinman,
Glenn Christek, Donna Vestal, Roy Wenzel, Rebecca Dukes, and Virginia Schaefer.
Did you say Gary Mincy?
Yes.
Anita Hampshire,
yes.
Dean Langford, and Maria Morrow.
Then Felicia Vax, a friend of my mom. We pray for all the people who pray
This hour in sickness, in want, distress of body and spirit. We name in our hearts those who are near to us and whose pain we feel. Let them know your help and feel your presence. Realize that they are not alone.
May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Bless those in need of healing, with refuah shelema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So now we pause for a moment of silent prayer, using the words our hearts may prompt us, or those found on page 94. If you let us soul, So, when I recite for you a prayer that is a common part of the life of an Orthodox Jew. In fact, I remember when I went to rabbinical school, one of the very first classes, teacher made a point of sharing that with us when I went with the prayer. I'll skip the Hebrew for your sake and go. You just need to tell me what you think it's for. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who formed man with wisdom and created within him many openings and many hollow spaces. It is obvious and known before your seat of honor that even if one of them would be open, or even one of them would be sealed, it would be impossible to survive and to stand before you, even for 1 hour. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh and acts wonders. What do you think this prayer is for? You have prayer for all kinds of stuff, Prayers when you see a natural wonder, you have prayers when you see a wise man who's Jewish. You have a prayer when you see a wise man who's not Jewish. What is this prayer about? About opening, closing.
Say so.
Say again.
How about the bris?
It's actually for going to the bathroom.
Ah,
I read it for you again. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who formed man with wisdom and created within him many openings and many hollow spaces. It is obvious and known before your seat of honor that if even one of them would be open, or if even one of them would be sealed, that implies the one that should be shut is open, and the one that's sealed should be open and sealed. It would be impossible to survive and to stand before you even for 1 hour. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh and acts wonders. So, and it's amazing because if you want to see a miracle, you don't need to see the Red Sea part or the rain from the ground up. You just look at the human body with all this tremendous ability to, under normal circumstances, to heal itself, but and to how things heal, broken bones heal. Your body figures out to get the magical word is homeostasis, to come back to a normal status. And even actually we read in the Torah portion of 2 weeks ago, I think, Exodus 15:26, for I am the Lord your healer. I'm the Lord your healer is complicated. We're going to get to it, and then it gets us to blame John for many things, above all for his profession. Because if God makes sick, what right does John has to heal? Why is John going against God's will for people who have messed up kidneys? It's your fault that you came. Otherwise, I'll pick up on somebody else. So, having said that, however, God's healing is not perfect. I remember my grandfather had a broken, crooked finger because he had a bone that broke and never healed properly. God may be a healer. We believe that doctors are healers also. And we read that explicitly in this week's Torah reading. In Exodus 21:19. If he then gets up and walks outdoors upon his staff, the assailant shall go unpunished, except that he must pay for his idleness and his healing. So if one person injures another, he must pay for the needs of the injured party, including medical care, which means the doctor can get paid. And this was before the invention of health insurance. And it's known that the practice of medicine was a central part of Jewish life from the days of Torah, and many of our great rabbis, including throughout history, including Maimonides, were physicians. And it's asked obviously, why are there so many Jews who are physicians? Well, why are so many physicians Jewish? Because their mothers are also.
I was literally about to say, because they're mom.
Exactly, they're mom. But the reality is that unlike other arts or science or knowledge you could dedicate yourself to, if you're a lawyer and you get kicked out or you move somewhere else, it's complicated because the law may not be the same. And if you're a merchant, maybe the merchandise is not the same. If you're a shoemaker, maybe they make shoes different here than there. But if you're a physician, that's the universal profession, works everywhere, and it's knowledge that's valuable. So now the question, however, attached to this is a profound religious question. Who are the healers? Is God the healer, or are the doctors the healers? Whereas at the beginning, and I'll get to that in a minute, I'll get to that. The answer is that both are healers. There is a physical part of healing and there's a spiritual part of healing. As humans, we need both. Some would say that the spiritual part of healing is enough. There was a woman called Mary Baker Eddy who built an entire religion called Christian Science on this idea. One should turn to faith, prayer, no medical intervention for healing. Curiously, there is a Jewish equivalent of that never went far away. But once I was strolling through New York and I found a Jewish science reading room It was close. They don't do much business. But not very influential. But Rambam teaches that if we live according to God's will, we'll never need doctors. But then there was a time that to heal was in fact considered a sin, because if disease was a punishment for not obeying God, God's punishing you, making you sick. But what right does the doctor has to heal, thus going against God's will? And I took a whole semester, I don't know, it's a big seminar at the Hebrew College about that, trying to understand how do Jews eventually not only come to allowing healing, but and medical sciences, but also to make it one of their main, one of the main ways that Jews make a living. And it's very interesting. People don't know that in Europe, for instance, to be a real doctor was to cut up people, do surgery. So, and when Jews were not allowed to practice surgery, to do surgery, Jews come to all kinds of consider them the lesser arts. So Jews became experts in eyes or nose, throat, ear, all that kind of stuff, the skin. And it's very interesting, a fitting punishment for the Germans is that after the Holocaust, there was an acute shortage, for instance, of dermatologists. There were no dermatologists because they managed to kill them all during the Holocaust. And dermatology being clearly, especially today, the best medical art, because there's no emergencies and you make lots of money. But big beat doesn't make. But about the point of sharing, let me share with you a midrash that gives a more mainstream Jewish point of view. It says, once Rabbi Ishmael and Rabbi Akiva were strolling in the streets of Jerusalem along with another man. They met a sick person who said to them, "Masters, can you tell me how I can be healed?" They said to him, "Take such and such until you feel better." The man, swallowing the two rabbis, turned to them and said, "Who made this man sick?" "The Holy One, blessed be he," they replied. "And you presume to interfere in an area that's not yours?" The man remarked. "God has afflicted and you heal." So they say, "What's your occupation?" They asked the man. "I'm a tiller of the soil," he answered. "And as you can see from my sickle, from the sickle I carry." "Who created the land and who created the vineyard?" "The Holy One, the Holy Blessed One." They said, "And you dare to move into an area that is not yours? God created this and you eat their fruit?" He said to them, "Don't you see the sickle in my hand?" The man asked. "If I did not go out and plow the field, water it, fertilize it, weed it, no food would grow." "Fool," the rabbi said, "have you not heard that the days of people are just like a harvest? Just as the tree that is not fertilized and weeded and pruned does not grow, and if it grows, it does not drink, take fertilizer, it does not live and dies, so the body is a tree, the medicine is the fertilizer, and the doctor is the farmer." So bottom line here is, we humans are partners with God in perfecting the world, and that is true also has to do with humans. That's it. Shabbat shalom. You have a second opinion, John?
I'm sorry, I'll send you the bill next week.
Good. Anybody online has a second opinion? You want a second opinion? No. This happy note then, turn to page 368. I ask you to rise for the adoration. Let's get something here. Good. Here's the page 368. Aleinu leshabeach ladon ha'kol, latet gevula leyaser reshi, שהוא שמחתנו לאחד את שמו, וגאול עלינו להמליך מלכותו. Let us adore the ever-living God. We offer praises to you, who spread out the heavens and established your earth. Your glory is revealed in the heavens above, and your greatness is manifest throughout the world. You are our God, there is no else. We bow our heads in reverence before the eternal one, source of all life. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 369. May
the time not be distant of God. You shall be worshipped throughout the earth. When unbelief shall disappear, and there will be no more. Fervently we pray that the day may come when all people shall be guided by your teachings. Corruption and evil shall give way to purity and goodness. Superstition shall no longer enslave the mind, or idolatry blind the eye. Then all who dwell on earth shall know that to you alone every knee shall bend and every voice give praise. They all created in your image recognize that we are brothers and sisters, so that one in spirit and one in harmony, we may be forever united before you. Then shall your reign be established on earth, and the word of your ancient prophet be fulfilled. The eternal God will reign forever and ever.
on the day the eternal shall be one, and God's name shall be one. Thoughts now turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people, the 6 million who perished in the Shoah, and those of every race, nation, and faith whose life has been a blessing to humanity. Joyce asked us to remember policemen who were killed this week, and all the policemen killed this week. I don't know if anybody else has a Shiva 7-day mourning period. Anybody observing a Shloshim 30-day mourning period?
I should mention the Vietnamese monk who just died this week, who had been a teacher of Martin Luther King and many others, and he basically was the founder of the movement to get out of Vietnam. Remarkable person. That my name recognition is not as good.
As far as your sides go, composer remembers Norma Grant, mother of Michelle Goldwasser. Martha Cordero was the mom of Yvonne Cordero. Nancy Mincy, wife of Gary, this is her second, 1 year, 2 years? 2 years. And Rose Oxenhandler was the grandmother of Howard Goldwasser, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else has a yahrzeit? The departed who we now remember have entered to the peace of life eternal. They still live on earth in the acts of goodness they perform in the hearts of those who cherish their memory. The beauty of their lives abide among us as a loving benediction. And now we turn to page 375. We join in the ancient words of the Kaddish. Itkada ve'itkada Shem ve'amal livra'ite ve'amrifa'ute ve'chayechon ve'omechon ובחיי לדור בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן חיינו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה ורב לעולם ולעולמי עלמיה. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתעלה 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 ושמי תתשושה ובריחו. לעילה מנותו ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. לעמידה ועלמא וירוי. Shalom Bibrahma, Uyase Shalom, Aleinu Kol Israel, May the source of peace and peace to all mourn, comfort all who are bereaved among us. Let us say, Amen. You may be seated. So far as announcements, looking here, it looks like next week we're supposed to have a potluck dinner. I don't know if we're having it or not.
On Friday night?
Yeah.
Oops.
Oops, is right, yeah, so we need to think about that. Also, I'm working on some speakers. There's a person that Denise and I know in Honduras who I call her just because she's a maritime lawyer, and I invited her to speak up about, Jewish influence in maritime stuff, but there's plenty. She agreed to do that, and then she told me that she's, to our astonishment, she's very, very connected with this current new Honduran administration. She may become the responsible for the ports. I wish her well. I was surprised that she was involved with these people who, the current administration that's not necessarily very friendly to Jews. Anyway,
I'm sorry, I'm missing that.
there's a new president in Honduras, a woman,
Yeah.
who's the wife of
Right.
a past president. Even Kamala Harris went there for the
Right.
inauguration. This the president's not very friendly towards Jews, but definitely not friendly towards Israel. And this friend of ours that we know is very involved with the government. She may get a very high post. And this is somebody who I didn't know that, but I called to invite her to be a speaker for us one day in one of our events.
That would be very nice.
It would be. I like her a lot. I hadn't pegged her for that kind of political persuasion. We don't beat on people because of their politics. Any announcement, Mr. President?
Rabbi, thank you very much for doing the service, and particularly without Theo's presence, it was obvious that we had to struggle along. Thank you, and thank you, Pam, for reading for us. And hopefully Theo will come back to life and give us a bit of spirit as well.
Yeah, sure.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Say we should put Theo on the prayer list.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
yes.
just talked about that now.
As a matter of fact, with double urgency. A reminder that if we're going out to dinner, we're taking a little collection to add to the Jewish food pantry under the aegis of Pat, and we'll deposit that and through the temple, make that contribution.
And people who are not joining us for dinner,
You can give
also Klein may contribute as well.
And potluck next Friday. It's a little early.
No potluck next Friday.
No potluck next Friday. Among other things, we're going to be running out immediately at 7 for the repertory theater starts.
Okay,
It's the truth. That's
I
all.
believe it. So,
Anybody
okay.
have anything else to provide?
Anything you have to add to this equation?
The pantries are having a campaign hoping to collect 2,000 jars of peanut butter and other nutter butter spreads. So when you're in the grocery store, pick up a couple of extra jars of peanut butter to donate.
I was told people take peanut butter as used to on Friday mornings.
As a concluding hymn, I'm going to turn to page 427, top of the page, Al Shloshah Devarim. It's a group, an oldie but
Do
goodie.
that, just.
Al Shloshah Devarim,
Oh,
Shloshah Devarim, Al Shloshah Devarim, Al HaTorah, Ve'al HaTorah, Ve'al Ve'al Chasadim, Al HaTorah, Ve'al HaTorah, Ve'al Ve'al Chasadim. Shloshah Devarim, Shloshah Devarim, Concluding our service prior to the traditional Temple Israel knife fight over what we're doing for dinner. Conclude our asking God's blessings upon us. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless us and keep us. Yair Adonai panav alecha v'chuneka. May God look kindly on us and ever be gracious to us. Yisa Adonai panav alecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift up His countenance on us and give us shalom, peace. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom. Oh, it's not a knife fight, it's a fork fight.
Okay, that's true.
Anybody brave enough to cross the border and come to Brookside?
Oh, it wouldn't be a problem.
Shabbat shalom.
There is a fantastic Thai restaurant on. We went to.
Hi,
Hi,
Summer.
Roseanne.
Hi.
Fred.
Hi, Gary.
Hi. How you doing?
Good.
Good.
How
Good
are
to see
you?
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling better, thanks.
Good.
Did you get a dog, Gary?
I missed out on 3 baskets.
Oh, wow.
Every time the one comes up, there's one person ahead of me.
Yeah.
So I'm working on one right now in Kansas City, Missouri, but there's somebody in front of me.
Oh,
I'm
Hi,
looking.
Denise.
Hi, how are ya?
Good, thank you.
I hope it works out. I hope it works out for you. If not, then there's another perfect dog for you.
Oh, I know. Thank you. I
Uh-huh.
appreciate that, Joyce.
It's all
All right, well, we'll say goodnight to everybody.
Good night.
Hello,
Good night,
neighbors. I
everybody.
guess no one's brave enough to come to Brookside.
I guess.
Shabbat shalom,
Maybe next time.
everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So where are you guys going?
hang in there, George. It's called Waldo Thai on let's see how far. 11 minutes.
Right next to my house.
Really?
Yeah.
It's one of the best Thai places.
Oh, yeah, it's really good. What's it called?
Waldo Thai.
How many people want to go there?
Then Joyce will join us. Right, Joyce?
Where are you going?
If you don't, we'll
Yeah.
never show up
That
again.
was your friend, because going there for you. It's 8431 Walnut. Joyce?
Where is it?
8431 Walnut.
8431 Warnell. 84? Are you as far south as 84th Street, Joyce?
No, I'm in the 50s.
Would you go to 8431 Walnut?
I'm staying pretty close to home because I've had a big increase in my medication.
So
So,
you're not going to 84th and Warnell?
No, I would go down to like in Brookside, but I better not go that far. It's
Okay.
a little too far for me to drive.
So we won't go to your next door neighbor, be your neighbor.
Okay, all righty. Well, enjoy. I hope you all have a good dinner.
Thank you, we'll miss you, so where we're
We'll
going.
miss you and bad mouth if you're absent.
Right.
Of course. It's my turn. Bye.
Thank you for your donation. Came in today, a couple of checks.
Shabbat shalom. We'll put the junk away. We'll put the junk where we usually do it. That didn't work.
Where should we go? Elsa? To the Euros.
No, we can't go without yours. We can't go to Mr. Earls without yours.
No.
Just loud. Yeah, it faces that way. Yeah. I think. I don't know. But it wasn't this way. It wasn't. So do we have an opinion? Do we have an opinion?
Got lots of opinions. Not all of them are very fine.
Who has their opinions to state? You know,
That one goes with-
the only reason that we always have to go with Joyce's.
Right.
She's not going to be coming until it's lighter out, because she does our job.
Yeah.
There's a place, Fortune Walk, which is on 135th and Knoll. It is wonderful. It's in a little strip mall.
Okay.
Well, look, we could go to ABC.
I've never been there before.
Let's go to ABC. ABC.
Do you want to call and see if there's no way?
There'll be no way. How many?
But I will ask that sometime we'll go to Fortune Walk.
Okay. And what do they do? Fortune Walk, is it like the Joy Walk?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I just want to make sure I'm right direction.
How many? Dois,
Yeah.
três, quatro, cinco, seis, sete, oito, 10, 9, 9.
Were there two batteries sitting
Yes.
on the table?
Yes, I put them back in the, yeah.
Do I call them?
Huh? Call them, yes. Ask them how long of a wait.
4 hours.
Never that long. Oh, yeah.
See?
Hi, this is Jacques and our fees, friend. I have 9 people. How, we're like 15 minutes away. Would you have too much of a wait for mine? Yeah. Good, so we have, okay, can you set it? Yeah, Jack. Can you see one name? John? Yeah. 913 940 1011.
Did you see? Yes.
Okay.
We had to go back so I could get my hearing aids today.
Oh, boy.
And,
Where were we going now? ABC.
Não sei o que estava caindo,
Did you see where the one of the two batteries dropped off?
I put them back on,
No, but there was just one there.
oh,
I wonder whether it's still up on this one.
right here. I think the wine bottle was leaking. Yeah.
on my pants.
Oh, oh. On Jose? Was it there?
No, but that's all right. Jacques says he carries thousands of batteries in the car.
What do you mean?
Thousands
Huh?
of AA batteries in the car.
Give away? I may have some.
Yeah. Well, just remember for next week to bring them.
I also, oh man, I got 4 lighter this
Yeah,
for 99 cents.
sure. At the dollar store? No.
4 of them.
Oh,
All 4.
oh my
for
gosh.
99 cents.
Wonderful.
Where
So
did
then
you
you
put
can
the
be a
trash?
pyromaniac.
Back where it belongs in the hallway. Yeah.
Are they busy? Did you check?
15 minutes.
Okay.
You know, when I go to the house, I don't do it. You know, because I'm not gonna, because I'll hurt myself. But there's 2 things I don't do. In the winter, I love burning crap, and in the summer, power wash.
You know what? People, it's wonderful that people.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm going to put it in your pocket.
What else is new? Shall we go?
Yeah.
ABC. Haven't been down such a long time.
Well, it hasn't been that long, but we.
Oh, it's cold.
He's still in the restroom, I think.
Who, Pam?
She ran over here, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you know what? It's okay because there's still people in the building, so she'll be okay.
Pat's out here.
Oh, Pat is out? Okay.
Right over there.
Okay, so we're good. We're good.
Okay.
It is really cold. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cold.
I'm gonna take some food for Raquel too.
Nearly so bad.
Yeah.
As,
She'll be so happy.
as 26.
Mhm.
No, I don't know. I only use
About 26. Yeah, it's about 26.
what normal people do. Yeah, go.
Hey, God, normal people.
Everywhere else but
Please.
here. Please.
Device. Plus, enjoy 5G access on every plan at no extra cost. All powered by the T-Mobile 5G network. Only at Metro. Requires port-in ID and eligible plan. Plus tax 5G coverage not available everywhere. See store for details.
Are you motivated for rise? Hughes Media is hiring for account executives in Kansas City to add to our local sales team. We're looking for people to help generate and